The federal judge reviewed the collective bargaining agreement with the Seattle Police Officers Union and admits he was taken aback by some of it, but he's decided not to weigh in officially until the Seattle City Council votes to approve it, which they're scheduled to do next week. Judge James Robart, who's been supervising the reform process over the last 6 years with SPD, said just because he found the department to be in full effective compliance with the consent decree, it does not mean that the tentative agreement is also in full effective compliance. Just the opposite. After reading it, he thinks there are some controversial aspects to the collective bargaining agreement when it comes to police accountability. The Community Police Commission argued the new contract rolls back progress when it comes to disciplining an officer, but the mayor and the city attorney disagreed.
When we negotiated this agreement, we were looking at real-life policing, not the what-ifs that lawyers can imagine. And we believe that this agreement addresses those things that are fundamental to policing to make sure that we have the most accountable police department anywhere, but that we also pay our officers fairly.
The mayor made the statements next to Councilmember Lorena Gonzalez, who admitted the tentative agreement has some flaws, but she says collective bargaining is a give and take process. She believes in the contract. She also believes the officers deserve a raise, which they haven't had in almost 4 years. She's sponsoring the legislation to get the council to approve the contract a week from tomorrow. At the federal courthouse, Elisa Hahn, King 5 News.